The city of Aurora will pay a 7-figure settlement to a black family wrongfully held at gunpoint.
Welcome back to We the People University. My name is Abiyah Israel, former police officer and former sheriff's deputy. So as I was just scrolling through different stories and reading through the emails that were sent to me, I came across this story that took place in 2021, but just found itself being resolved earlier this year. And it's a story of a mother who was out with her children and her niece, and they were having a girls' day out. So they were about to go out and get their nails done, have lunch, and have a great time until they found themselves the victim of the Aurora Police Department located in Colorado. So as they're sitting in the parking lot, preparing to go out on this day's journey to have fun and have a girls' day out, they find themselves face down on hot pavement in the middle of August. And we know that pretty much wherever you are in the middle of August is burning up. So the pavement has to be scorching hot at this point. But it doesn't matter to the cops. They're going to pull these children out of the vehicle, lay them face down on the pavement, and it's all because they thought they were car thieves. They were suspected of stealing a vehicle. Now get this. The vehicle that they were suspected of stealing was a motorcycle, but yet this family was inside of an SUV with Colorado plates, and the motorcycle that was actually reported stolen had Montana plates. Let's watch this clip, jump right into it. We'll talk more here in a second.
One of the officers criticized for forcing these girls to lie face down, handcuffed in an Aurora parking lot, now wants to be sheriff of a southern Colorado county.
Darian Dasco was suspended after forcing this family out of their car, mistakenly believing it was stolen. And at one point, an officer pointed a gun at them.
The cries of children put face down on hot pavement in a parking lot in Aurora after being ordered out of this SUV at gunpoint last summer drew condemnation of the tactics of the responding Aurora police officer led by Officer Darian Dasco.
Children 6 years old to 17 years old.
Officers mistakenly thought the SUV was stolen.
I had to fight back the tears when I heard them crying for their mother.
Even the Aurora police chief denounced the wrongful detainment.
It's uncalled for. And it shouldn't have happened, and I wish we could take it back.
Dr. Thomas Mays, the vice president of the Greater Metro Denver Ministerial Alliance, accused the officers involved of racial profiling and wanted Dasco fired. Dasco was suspended as a result.
It angers me that you would have someone in policing, law enforcement, that has poor judgment.
And now that same officer is running for sheriff 200 miles south of Aurora in Las Animas County.
Can you imagine this guy being the sheriff? A guy who can't tell the difference between a SUV and a motorcycle. A guy who does not know, a law enforcement officer who does not know that license plates have similar numbers. But in order to get the right vehicle, it must match the vehicle description and be the exact number. And now he's going to be the sheriff, if he wins, of an entire county. If he wins, this one will be on the people. We know what he's done. He should in no way win that vote. Let's keep watching.
One fear is they will have a person in charge that has poor judgment when it comes to people. My second fear is that the people may elect him, knowing that.
Dasco did not face charges for the traffic stop. The 18th Judicial District Attorney's Office found the incident concerning, but added that there wasn't enough evidence to conclude Dasco and the other officer unlawfully or recklessly used excessive force in the detainment. Dasco did receive a 160-hour suspension and lost his title as field training officer.
You put a gun on 4 kids.
Brittany Gilliam, the driver of the SUV, filed a civil lawsuit for emotional trauma against Dasco. Dasco is running as a Republican and is the first candidate to announce for the 2022 campaign. Addie Guajardo, Denver 7.
Luckily, the people stood up and they cast their vote, and this guy did not win. Someone who can't tell the difference between an SUV and a motorcycle does not deserve to be the sheriff. So, as the article stated, that these young girls, along with their mother and aunt, were pulled over. Although they were in an SUV, they were pulled over because of a stolen motorcycle. And again, the SUV tag was a Colorado tag, and the motorcycle's tag was a Montana tag. With that being said, the officer stated that the tags had similar numbers, which is scary because a lot of tags, many tags have similar numbers. They can't be similar. They have to be exact. And when the officer's scanner scanned the tag and it registered as a stolen vehicle, instead of the officer double checking to make sure the vehicle was not stolen, he simply called for backup, and the rest is history. Guns drawn on kids as young as 6 years old, and they're forced to lay down on the pavement in the middle of the summer, and only God knows how hot that ground was. I want to read a small piece of the article here because obviously this department has a history of this type of behavior. In 2021, that's when this incident actually happened. In 2021, the city reached a settlement with the family of Elijah McClain for $15 million. McClain, a 23-year-old black man, was stopped by Aurora police while walking down the street in 2019. An officer placed McClain in a neck hold, and he was injected with a sedative, which eventually led to his death. One officer was convicted in his death, 2 officers were acquitted, and paramedics were also convicted in connection with his death. McClain's settlement is not the first one involving allegations of police brutality in Aurora. The New York Times found that the city had settled at least 11 other cases of police brutality from the time of 2003 to 2018 for a total of $4.6 million. So again, and I actually talk about this in my book, and if you guys haven't gotten the book yet, you definitely want to make sure you read that. I talk about how that there are certain cultures in departments, and all cultures are not the same, but they are similar. And when a culture is inside of a department, when you see these videos when people are requesting to speak to a supervisor, it's pointless because this is the culture of the department. That officer would not be doing what he's doing if his supervisor did not already know he was doing it. This is in most cases. This is why it is up to you to know your rights, to know the law, and not just that, because even though we know our rights and know the law, we see it violated every single day. Record the police as well, because you do not want to leave it up to it being your word versus theirs, because we know how that would end. Make sure you know your rights. Always record the police. And with that being said, We the People University, signing off. Welcome to The GOAT Debate, the premier online sports debate show where engaging discussions and thrilling debates unfold as we determine who is the greatest of all time in every sport. I am your host, Abiyah Israel, joined by my 2 co-hosts, Coach Scott and Coach J.O. Tune into our YouTube and Facebook channels to catch our reactions and coverage of the biggest games and the latest news. Don't miss out on your chance to participate in the action. Join us every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for The GOAT Debate, where you, the viewer, can call in and share your thoughts on who deserves the title of the GOAT. Be sure to mark your calendars. Every Monday, we upload 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, and we go live every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be sure to subscribe, call in, and participate. Come and be a part of the conversation.